Hi there and welcome to Apple World. It seems as though she's in a tight spot. Tales are twirling that one self-declared super city chairman is subtly trimming an arrangement with the FBI to save herself from a one-way excursion to a cell. Could this be her last move in a frantic endeavor to get away from the destiny that is by all accounts shutting in on her promise on the road? Is that Henrietta has understood her rule is coming to an end and she's attempting to take everybody down with her, yet here's the bend? It's not simply Henyard who's in hot water. Ben Bradley proceeds with his restrictive detailing from Dalton. So how do we arrive? It's been a wild ride with Henyard in charge of Dalton, Illinois, a little town that in some way ended up at the focal point of a tempest, including debasement, blunder, and double-crossing. Only a couple of months prior, she was riding high distant in her job as both city chairman of Dalton and boss of Thornton Municipality. She constructed her picture as a super city chairman who was on a mission to tidy up the town. However, for reasons unknown, she may have been tidying up in additional ways than one for a year. Currently, we've been detailing undeniable spending by a South rural lawmaker named Tiffany Henyard. However, we just knew a portion of the story. Presently, sources near the circumstance are murmuring that she's been discreetly haggling with the federal authorities, attempting to figure out an agreement to try not to be hauled into court. And the most insane part, she may very well be prepared to sell out her partners, the very individuals who helped her construct her domain, the ones who, until as of late, remained close by sponsorship. Her each move, it appears Henyard's devotion, as it were, goes up to this point, and now that the walls are shutting. And she will toss anybody under the transport on the off chance that it implies saving herself in any case. It's my heart that you are up here at this exceptional gathering and not first floor where we have enormous mingo. All the rage is that Henyard's lawful group, two high-powered criminal safeguard lawyers who have addressed a few major names, are staying at work longer than required to cut her the most ideal arrangement. However, what does that mean for her inward circle? The same individuals who helped her draw off what some are calling quite possibly one of the most nervy power snatches in nearby governmental issues are presently investigating their shoulders, contemplating whether they're next on the garnish. Well, Mr. Frilly's in no way, shape, or form blameworthy of each of the 9 counts. I trust he's collaborating, and assuming that you coordinate, you need to concede your responsibility first. Hen's ascendance to control wasn't simply a performance act. She had a cast of characters working behind the scenes as individuals who assumed parts in what has now turned into an out-and-out political outrage. Take Keith Freeman from Model. Freeman was once Henyard's nearest partner, her right-hand man in Dalton and her confided-in counselor in Thornton Municipality together. They ran the town with an iron hold. Freeman, a previous town head, and the enlisted specialist of Henyard's disputable cause, was instrumental in aiding Henyard keep up with command over Dalton's funds until he wasn't. One way that, the public authority continuously does, it is to proceed to explore individuals around her. And that is what they're doing here, was Hitwa. Government charges for liquidation, misrepresentation, and just appreciate that their organization soured Henyard, purportedly attempted to cut him free in any event, endeavoring to fire him at a town executive gathering, yet the chooses weren't having it. Freeman's tumble from elegance is only one illustration of how rapidly Henyard will disavow when things get chaotic. Yet presently reports propose Freeman may coordinate with specialists in the event that that is valid. It could mean doom for Henyard and her whole activity. You realize wrong will be off base. Furthermore, there's an opportunity to hold individuals dependable and responsible for their activity. Then, at that point, there's Elegant, the previous agent police head of Dalton, another key player in the Henyard circle. Elegant was no outsider to debate. He was charged with liquidation extortion, very much like Freeman yet. But that didn't prevent Henyard from reappointing him to lead the police division regardless of fights from the town legal administrators. Elegant's arrangement was simply one more indication of Henderson's resistance, her assurance to keep up with control no matter the expense, and very much like Freeman, Elegant was faithful to Henyard until the federal authorities came thumping coming in. I mean, tragically, we realized it would have been somewhat muddled, but it's simply something we felt vital that needed to be done, that ought to be finished. So yet, like I said, you have quite recently found Fancy 2 is currently trapped, carefully targeted for the government examination, and some accept he could be one more. Pawn in a Henyard round of endurance, his name has been connected to sketchy additional time payouts, with reports showing that he rounded up finished $200,000 in extra time pay in spite of not being qualified for that cash. The timing of these payouts has caused a commotion, with many contemplating whether they were essential for a bigger plan coordinated by Henyard. However, now that he's confronting significant lawful inconvenience, Frilly may be hoping to strike his very own arrangement. The municipality inhabitants are paying for her asset, and it doesn't end there. Henyard's previous colleague turned legal administrator Carmen Carlisle was once viewed as a reliable ally of the super city chairman. Yet as the outrage unfurled, Carlisle turned on Henyard, blaming her for exploitative ways of behaving and ruthless practices. Carlisle claims that Henyard utilized her situation to control representatives and sellers, channeling citizen cash into her own ventures and extravagance costs. For the past 2 years, Henyard has controlled representatives, merchants, and inhabitants, utilizing her situation to build her impact, all while extending a bogus picture of progress. Carlisle said in an explanation, "It's a cursing allegation, one that puts Carlisle in conflict with the one who once trusted her with her inward circle." Carlisle's informant claims didn't simply end with obscure allegations. She spread out insights regarding how the Henrietta organization burned through extravagant measures of cash on top-of-the-line flights, 5-star lodgings, and very good quality feasting, all on the citizens' dime. One excursion to Austin, Texas, supposedly cost the town more than $20,000, with Henrietta and her escort destroying up bills at lavish inns and steakhouse meals. And we should not forget the $33,000 Henrietta went through in a solitary day on Amazon buys. These sorts of costs weren't simply disapproved of. They've become integral to the continuous government examination concerning her abuse of assets, who might make a one-day acquisition of more than $40,000 to Amazon. And the most compelling thing is that her ways of managing money have been investigated for quite a long time, with town legal administrators more than once calling for straightforwardness. The town's general asset balance went from an excess of more than $5 million out of 2022 to a shortage of almost $4 million by 2024. A stunning monetary breakdown that many accept is straightforwardly attached to Howard's careless spending. Previous Chicago City Hall leader Lori Lynchfoot, who was employed to examine Henderson monetary dealings, found that police costs had soared during Henyard time in office, with some officials making more in extra time than their base pay rates. One official made more than $100,000 in extra time pay in a single financial year, over 2 times his pay. "We wanted those officials to be on the road battling wrongdoing, and on second thought we have a few officials that are riding around safeguarding the there, yet here's where it gets truly intriguing as the federal authorities dig further into Henyard funds. Some are contemplating whether this entire wreck is going to bring down something beyond the city chairman, with so many of her partners as of now. It confronting lawful trouble is turning out to be clear that this isn't just around one individual. This is about an organization of people who've cooperated to advance themselves to the detriment of the town. What's more, presently, Henyard is allegedly prepared to blame every single one of them, assuming that it implies she can leave without serving time. My thought process is intriguing about this case. This story is, you can be profoundly lawful and unscrupulous at the same time. As of late, the strain among Henyard and the town board has arrived at an edge of boiling over. At a board meeting, town legal administrators casted a ballot to hinder Henyard from utilizing charge cards for unapproved buys, and they've set limitations on how much cash can be spent on extraordinary occasions. These moves are seen as immediate endeavors to check Henyard impact and keep her from proceeding with her luxurious spending binge. However, Henyard isn't withdrawing. She's rejected different board choices and proceeds to push forward with her own plan even as the examination fixes around her. "I'm going to address a few things as the manager. There will be no remarks, there will be anything. It simply be me addressing you all to stop for a minute." Continuing, and what might be said about the people who once upheld her, however, are presently standing up against her. Thornton Municipality Legal Administrator Chris Gonzalez, who once remained by the Henyard side, has been vocal about his dissatisfaction with regards to her spending. He's called her out for supporting occasions that weren't even in the municipality's financial plan, like the scandalous Taste of Thornton Municipality occasion, where Henyard laid out $85,000 for a small-scale show, including Air BCR Cake Mary and Rapper J occasion. The occasion was a lemon with scarcely anybody appearing, however Henyard still paid the entertainers as much as possible for their 30-minute set. Gonzalez's analysis is simply another sign that the Breaks and Henyard emotionally supportive network are becoming more extensive. By the Spearing Diary confided in Chris, Gonzalez said, "When the organization can stick to a few monetary cutoff points, we're not looking to fundamentally as the bits of gossip about Henderson's likely arrangement with the FBI, while the inquiry on everybody's mind is who will accept any penalty with her in the event that she chooses to sell out her partners. It could say Pell almost certain doom for their vocations and conceivably their opportunity. Will Freeman, Frilly, and Carlisle be hauled down with her? Or will they excessively cut their own arrangements to keep away from jail time as the clock is ticking and as additional subtleties arise about the Henyard secret?" Subscribe Apple World for more videos.